Shedeur Sanders was going to get drafted by the Ravens. News dropped before Sunday's game. Mike, what is your opinion?
Excuse me. It was kind of irrelevant, as I would like to say, but it's news, so we're going to talk about this. Why drop something for a fourth-string quarterback? Why do it before the game? The kid's not going to play that game. What is the big deal? Why do you save that and drop that before the game? Not only was Baltimore doing their 30-year anniversary, which was already a punch in the face to Cleveland, but why this? Like that? Why? And then for him to get up there and say, you know what, I don't even remember this, which was great because obviously you're not going to want to play behind a guy that's just signed this 5-year contract for a ton of money that's not often hurt. You don't want to be a second stringer. You don't want to be a third stringer. You want to be a first stringer. You're going to have to show your you're going to have to do your work, man. And there's plenty of speculation going around about why he's passing for this or why he's practicing after the main squads and all that. And maybe the kid can't read a playbook. Maybe the kid can't acknowledge the NFL like he was able to do in college. So there's certain things that go to this, and he's going to have to figure that out himself. It is our job to develop the kid, obviously, but at the end of the day, what is wrong with him? Something is wrong somewhere along the line. Something is wrong.
Yeah. How about you, Ray?
Well, I thought I was in high school when I heard this because my first reaction was bullshit. I mean, here, listen. I think I answered it. You posted this the other day, Angel, and I think I might have wrote a couple paragraphs on it. But long story short, I thought the silly season was over with. I mean, that story has so many holes in it for me. It has so many holes in it because one, the way Shedeur was free falling, he ain't have a clue where he was going or any of that. Secondly, so you're going to tell me that the Baltimore Ravens let it be known to Shedeur and his people, hey, we're getting ready to draft you. And then Shedeur and his people, well, hey, no, we don't want to come there because we only want to go to. Come on, man. Next. It just sounded like we're still in preseason and they're just pulling stories out of their woohoo to see what's going to stick to the wall.
Okay. Chad, you have very little to say.
No, like I said, my take mostly on the Shedeur thing is just it doesn't follow that far from what you guys said, except for the idea is Shedeur. Part of the reason Shedeur fell is because people were worried about the media nonsense. They were worried he was going to be a distraction. They were worried his dad was going to be a distraction. 100%, I think everybody agrees that was a big part of his free fall. So since he's been a Brown, he's stayed under the radar. He's avoiding answering controversial questions. He did it again this time. He basically has done everything he can to say, like, I'm not going to create this distraction. And I think like a story like this is Adam being like, well, I don't care. I'm going to get like a big like boost from this. So I'm going to throw this out there. And it just opens it up to the distractions that he's worked so hard to like step away from and show that he's not going to be a part of. And that's why I get frustrated by like all the national or radio media like blowing up his spot because he clearly doesn't want it. Like if he wanted to be out there like with this stuff, he would create. We've had quarterbacks here and we've seen quarterbacks and players elsewhere that take every opportunity to like be the number one topic in the media. So far, he's not. So it's just annoying to me that other people are trying to like force it like that. Just like you said, that era is, that's what, 5 months ago. And by the way, I believe this could be true. I believe if it was true, it means another team without a starting quarterback called him also and said, we're going to come get you. And then the Ravens might have told him, and he's like, no, I'd rather go to this other team that just said they were picking me. And that's not a crazy thing if you're trying to compete to be a starter, to go to the situation where you'll start. So.
I have one more argument to this. Me and Angel talked about this yesterday. So imagine this kid is visiting with teams, one-on-one meetings or with coaches and all that. He comes in there. They throw a playbook in front of him and some film. Remember, he was touted to be one of the number 1 draft picks in the first round, if not number 1, number 2, right? 3 weeks prior to some meetings and everything, his draft dropped dramatically. Can he not read a playbook? Can he not watch film correctly? Is there something in there that's the underlying issue?
Not
Angel?
Unbelievable to think everybody assumed he was going to understand the NFL really well because Pat Shermer used to be an NFL coach and his dad is a big NFL person, you know, ex-player. And so I think it's fair to say the assumption from scouts and graders were he's going to understand this stuff great, and that's part of the evaluation. And then they actually got him in the room, and it was like, oh, he's just like any other kid that played a wonky college-style offense. He doesn't really know the NFL offense. That's not what he's been doing. So I think it might have just been a shell shock for people to be like, oh, we assumed too much. So,
yes. Yeah.
I've always thought that.
I'm going to buck the trend here. I think there's issues. And obviously we chat in the group. You guys know how I feel about this. I think there's issues with Shedeur. And I think there's issues since the draft that's been said that people are just bypassing, ignoring it. Oh, that's not going to happen. If a team said, hey, we're going to pack you as a backup and you're going to back up Lamar Jackson, who, by the way, it's a great organization, or we cannot disagree more that Baltimore is probably the best spot that he should have landed in, because worst case, you would have backed up Lamar, you would have learned a good system, and then you probably would have moved on to be better quarterback, because how many quarterbacks have Cleveland developed here since 99? If you know the answer, raise your hand. 0. Obviously, right?
I'll say Baker, maybe.
Yeah, Baker. Sorry, yeah, maybe one Baker.
That's it.
If he would have went to Baltimore, he would have been number 2, and he would have been developed better than what he's being developed here. He thought he could come at a place and start right away. He bet on himself, and he failed. And now he is the 4th string quarterback